Alright, Geekus, how you guys doing? So, I did on my last channel, I did a video of what makes me me. Well, this is a new channel, so I need to do this because I have other people now viewing these videos, and, you know, I know if you guys are viewed these other videos and you already know what makes me me, then you can just skip past this video unless you want to watch it again. But this is for all the newcomers. So, my name is... Actually, I'm called the Ginger Geese, but my actual name is Rory Allen Hager. I was born April 18th, 1989. My father is William Mark Hager, and my mother was Teresa May England / Ripley / Hager. She was married a couple of times before my dad. Ripley is second after Hager. I just put Ripley there because I just want to get it out of the way because that's a sore subject in my face. But what makes me me is at an early age, my dad installed that I needed to use my imagination. I played a lot outside. Dad read a lot of books. He allowed me to read a lot of books, and I got to know stories very well. I was very fascinated with art and everything about that. I was also fascinated with tinkering with stuff at a young age also, which kind of peed my dad off all the time because art and tinkering never went well together because I don't know how many times he saw me draw on the walls because I thought, ooh, this will be cool. I also had Legos, so I was big in construction, so I built stuff because every kid needs to have Legos and Lincoln Logs and all that stuff. Once I was able to start now I did have a learning disability. I process reading a little differently. I read a little slower than most people because I apparently like to focus on what I'm reading. Don't ask me why. I read very well. I just don't read out loud very well. That's just because of a nervous tick that I have in my voice. I seem to pause a lot all the time when I read from something. Now, just talking to a camera or anybody, I'm fine. But when I'm trying to read from something, sometimes if it's in a large group, I start to get a little bit nervous. Now, I've grown a little bit more confident, but I can still let nerves kind of get the better of me. Now, when I was an early kid, I started reading mythology. My dad had an Odyssey book, and I did, when I was young, I was kind of big into comic books and stuff like that, so I started reading mythology books, and I loved history and mythology and all of that stuff. I started really getting into science class and loving to tinker with stuff, so science and history are big into my thing. Dylan, the video's fine. They can't hear anything. Dylan is shooting people with laser blasters right now on Fallout. Besides that, I did get into comic books really early, and I also got into Lord of the Rings and fantasy very early. I wasn't reading Lord of the Rings, but my dad installed that I watched a lot of the old animation that they did of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. I also watched a lot of old anime. My dad was a big supporter of watching the old anime, like Warriors of the Wind and stuff like that. So, anime does make a big point of it. I do read mangas time to time, and I do watch anime. I have been a little bit animated out because I haven't really seen any good new animes, but Dylan on Netflix has shown me tons of new animes that actually have really good story, and though they might be slightly pervy in some points, they actually are really good. I will do a top anime that I really like, and the list grows on and on. So that'll be another video. Now, in comic books, I did start off more on Marvel. The only DC comic books you'll ever hear me really talk about on this show will be Green Lantern, Batman, and The Flash. Now, The Flash has gotten better. It used to be really weird and they never really explained everything. Now they kind of do. Batman I've always been into, and my favorite character from Batman is Nightwing, Dick Grayson. That's my favorite character. Pretty much in all DC Universe. I do like others, but Dick Grayson's probably one of my favorite characters. Now, I mostly will talk about Marvel movies or comic books because I am a true believer. I really do love Marvel. My dad read Marvel comic books, so I I visualized Marvel and all that other stuff. I'll do a top Marvel heroes also, and it'll be a great list. But Also, when I'm a really good writer, but I'm terrible at spelling. But I have really good handwriting. My dad installed in me if I couldn't spell, I had to be able to write really well. So I have really, really good penmanship. I'll show you really quickly. See, that's me spelling my name, and that's me jotting notes down. I actually have really neat handwriting compared to most guys. Now, when I was a kid, I did start reading calligraphy books, and I tried to get into calligraphy, which was really, really interesting. I have not really done it for a long, long time. So hopefully I get back into it. It'd be great. Now, we're going to talk about how my dad got me into video games. Now, my grandma had an original Atari, and I kind of played Pong a lot and all that other stuff. And then she got a Super Nintendo, and I was playing Super Mario and stuff like that. And I was a little kid. But the real big turning point was Dad basically said, fuck it, and he bought a Nintendo 64, and he wanted to buy it not for us, he bought it for him. He bought Rogue Squadron, the video game, which is one of my top Nintendo 64 games of all time, but he bought us Banjo-Kazooie. Now, Rare, this is when Rare was doing really, really good games, and Banjo-Kazooie is still one of my top games from my childhood. It is good memories. Now, I did play a lot of Sony as well, mostly Castlevania games, because that's where I'm into. Dark fantasy is really cool. Vampires, werewolves, elves, dwarves. I get into that stuff. I really do. Games, that basically escalated. Then my dad got me into Dungeons & Dragons. My dad had Dungeons & Dragons books, but he also had the Marvel role-playing game, which was released in the 1989, or no, 1980s. It was actually released before I was born, and he still has it. And the funny thing is, I still have the books, and we play it every now and then. And now I don't really have to use the books that often. We just kind of, we have it all. That's what got me into probably the video games and that. I've seen that most video games don't have really good ideas, and I have really good ideas. I seem to have, I doodle a lot, I draw a lot, I paint, and I did pottery also. Anything that broadened my mind and stuff like that, I love. Don't watch me go to a Renaissance fair, because the videos will be spontaneous and crazy, because everything that people do with their hands, I love. I want to learn how to make longbows. I want to learn how to be a blacksmith. I think everything is cool. Anything that broadens, and apparently I'm a nerd in that aspect, because not a lot of people would want to be a blacksmith, which I don't understand why, because, you know, I think being a blacksmith would be cool. You can fix stuff on your own. I did get into carpentry a little bit. My grandfather taught me. I never really got formal training in school because I didn't have enough time. I was in band for 7 years. I'm a big music supporter. I love music and the arts. I was also a theater person as well. I was also on stage a couple of times. Most of my career was backstage, being the stage crew and making sure that those actors looked good and things went right. Things don't always go right, and I used to get told that I built things too secure and too safe. I also got told that I needed to be a little bit more mellow, because since I thought it was a job, I basically dedicated myself to it. Kind of like I'm doing finally with this. But what also makes me me is my dad and my mom, even though they were at odds ends and they did get a divorce, they did love me and they did support me with what I did. My family never told me that I was dumb for wanting to do what I do, or what I want to do, which is develop video games. And, you know, I want to develop video games, and, you know, right now, that is what my goal is. I want to make stories. I was at one point in time going to write books, but right now the best stories that I've ever seen are being turned into video games, so I might be able to do both. But I do want to create things, which I think is where my passion really is. At one point in time, I was going to be a teacher, but I don't think I could be a teacher. Now, I do like teaching, like, younger kids art, because I think that teaching the next generation is the way to go. And if you teach them good things, they will, in turn, do good things for your, you know, livelihood in the future. Without art, or music or anything like that, history would be pretty stupid. A lot of stuff is art based and you know, everything to that effect. My dad installed in me that I always respect anybody, no matter what they believe or how they believe it. As long as they're respecting me, I respect them. I never show disrespect unless you disrespect me. I never make fun of people. I try not to lie. I try to be the best person. My dad also got me into Star Wars, which I do follow most of the Jedi principles. I really do like to follow them. I think that George Lucas had a really good thing going when he did that, and I still like Star Wars. I think that it has a lot of good faith-based things. You'll never see me on here bashing things. Now, I will question others' religions, but that's just because I'm a very spontaneous thinker, and I want to know why they believe and how they believe it, and I don't like short, abrupt yes or no's. If you're going to say you worship something, you need to have full faith in it. You can't half-ass faith, in my book. You either have it or you don't. You gotta, you know, and everybody has levels of it, and everyone has different faiths. And I'm okay with that. I don't care if your faith is sitting on a sofa, eating Cheetos, and drinking Dr. Pepper. If that's your faith and you have a good reason for believing it, I'm going to say kudos to you and just let it go. That's kind of the greatest thing that my dad ever taught me. I also had a great-grandfather and a great-grandmother from both sides of the family. It was a really rocky family, but I will say I had really good moments. I've also had a lot of friends in my book. I will say right now that in my life, I kind of have the best group of friends that I've ever had. They're very supportive, and they will tell me whenever I've done something stupid instead of just lying and going, yeah, Rory, that's cool. They will tell me if it's stupid. They will tell me if I'm dumb. And that's what I need. Well, let's see. What else makes me me? I've had glasses my whole life. I'm a ginger, so yay, I'm the 2% of the world, apparently. That's what statistics say. Literally, guys, if you have any more questions, leave comments below, and I will answer them in another video. But I just wanted to get it out there telling you why I am who I am and why I'm doing this. And the main reason why I'm doing this is to get myself out there. This channel is mostly to promote that me being what I am, being a geekist. I'm very geeky, and I like to put that stuff out there. I'm still getting over being sick. And another thing that I'm putting this out for is Razer, my game development company. I'm going to be doing that. And you're going to see lots of stories come out. You're going to see Dylan. You're going to see Jay, because they are part of Razer. We kind of are a very small developing company. We are trying to do this out of the greatness that we have, and we are going to be putting lots of good stories out. Jay's a writer. Dylan's a writer. I can write, we can all draw, you know, this is like what we want to do, and we're going to do it. You know, it doesn't matter if, you know, we see all these bigger companies, but I think that we can, you know, we can show these bigger companies a thing or two. We look up to the bigger companies, but we don't get shadowed by them. We think that there's always room for another guy, and, you know, hopefully you guys like it. We'll put some of our stories out here. You'll also see some videos talking about comic books that I like, comic books that I read, you know, stuff like that. So, and also you'll probably see videos of me doing D&D. We do D&D a lot. Hell, I'm going to probably be doing a Skyrim video that shows me role-playing. And basically Dylan and Jay are going to be my judges to make sure that I don't try to, you know, flake the rules that I set. Which I've set some pretty strenuous rules, didn't I? Damn it. Lots of numbers, lots of rolling. I'm basically going to completely roleplay Skyrim. It's going to be a true RPG. But anyways, guys, I'm going to try to end this video at 15 minutes. If you like this video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you really like it, subscribe. Give me some support. You know, just give me some support. I'll let you know when my Twitter goes active so you guys can tweet me instead of having to just leave comments below. But also, guys, just stay calm out there and be nice to everybody. And, you know, as Bill and Ted said, you know, party on, dude. I'm probably getting that wrong, but, you know, oh, sorry, I'll say it. Be excellent to each other, guys. Just be great to each other. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video. You guys stay frosty out there.